Just blowing at no more than 20 miles an hour, though. Let's take a look at wind gusts, and that includes my area, folks. So, what's going on? Much in the Northeast, they're seeing wind gusts blowing at around 40 to 50 miles an hour, maybe in a few places just up to 60 miles an hour. From places like Maine all the way to New York City area, and you probably can hear from the background, not from the traffic outside, but from like a slight noise coming from the windows, because you have winds that are blowing up to 40 miles an hour, as well as much of Pennsylvania, western New York, the Hudson Valley, the capital region of upstate New York, northeastern western Virginia, and western Maryland. And there's a lot of gusts, right around 60 to 80 miles an hour in places like the Dakotas and eastern Montana, eastern Wyoming, and as well as the Rockies, part of Colorado, east of Denver, just up to 50 miles an hour, maybe close to 60 miles an hour in gusts, and as well as just east of Albuquerque and Santa Fe. Hold on a minute. Alright, I'm back, folks. So sorry about that because of the background noise. It's got copyrighted music there. Let's see what we got. Okay, so elsewhere throughout the West, nothing much is happening. Just offshore from Northern California and southwestern Oregon, just up to 40 miles an hour in gusts. The real story is in the Northeast and the Great Plains and parts of the Rockies in Colorado and New Mexico. Let's take a look at the temperatures, though. Hold on a minute. Never mind. Let's take a look in New England. You got temperatures that are in the 50s to low 60s, but make the feel like temperatures feel like it's around 40 degrees in the 40s for the most part. In upstate New York and Pennsylvania, though, temperatures are in the 50s to low 60s. That's the same rule as those in New England. In the greater New York City area, temperatures are in the upper 50s to low 60s. Make that low 50s because of the winds. In the Mid-Atlantic, you have temperatures that are in the 60s, but in some places make that low 50s. In the Southeast, temperatures throughout the Carolinas, they are in the 60s to mid-60s, mid-70s. Tennessee, 62 in Knoxville to 71 in Memphis. Alabama, Mississippi, temperatures are in the upper 60s to mid-70s. Arkansas, 70s. Louisiana, upper 70s to low 80s. In Florida, they range from 71 in Jacksonville to 89 in Cape Coral, but it's quite warm in the south part of Florida, the Panhandle, and northern Florida, northern peninsula part of Florida. They're in the 70s, as well as Space Coast. Well, in Arkansas, you can treat temperatures like as though they're in the 60s in Arkansas, Oklahoma. Temperatures range from the upper 60s to low 80s, but treat it as more like temperatures are in the low 60s. In Texas, temperatures throughout the Panhandle part of Texas, they're in the 70s to low 80s, mid 80s, mid to upper 80s in the northern parts of Texas, plus western end of Texas. The center part of the Lone Star State, they're in the 90s, plus San Antonio and Laredo. But on the coastal side of Texas, and as well as those in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, temperatures are in the 80s. But just so you know, just treat it as like temperatures throughout all across the Lone Star State. They could range from the low 70s, the 70s overall, maybe close to like the low 80s in southern Texas, in the central part of Texas, I should say. But then again, you do have some dry, warm air, which still negates the 90s temperatures feel. Maybe equate to about like the upper 80s. In the Ohio Valley, you got temperatures all across the Ohio Valley. They range from the mid 50s to upper 60s. But in Illinois and western Indiana and western Kentucky, change that to about probably the upper 50s. Hold on a minute. In the Great Lakes region, let's see, in Michigan, temperatures are in the 50s to low 60s, but make that upper 40s for the most part. Wisconsin, temperatures are in the mid 50s to low 60s. Maybe treat that as more like the upper 40s to low 50s. In the Dakotas and Minnesota, we got temperatures that range from 46 in Walker to 55 in Rochester. But treat it as more like temperatures that are in the low to mid 40s all across Minnesota as a result of the winds. In the Dakotas, in North Dakota, you get temperatures that are in the 40s to mid 50s. South Dakota, they're in the 50s to low 60s. In North Dakota, they could feel like it's those near freezing, like 32 degrees Fahrenheit. In South Dakota, about as much as the upper 40s. And we do have in Iowa, temperatures are in the 60s. Makes it feel like it's lower 50s. Missouri, temperatures are in the upper 60s to mid 70s. Make that the low 60s. In Kansas, temperatures all across and Nebraska, temperatures are in the mid 50s to low 70s. But try to treat that as more like temperatures are in the low 50s in Nebraska. But in Kansas, low 60s for the most part, except for Colby. They could get as much as about the mid 50s for the most part. In Montana, temperatures throughout Montana, they're in the mid 40s to low mid 50s. But in much of Montana, they could be as low as the low 40s, for the feels like temperature. In Wyoming, temperatures they're in the mid 40s to low 50s. Make that to the low 40s throughout much of Wyoming. Not much gusts in Idaho, but the northern side has temperatures that are in the 40s, the southern side 50s. In Colorado, temperatures are in the 60s, but make it feel like as though it's the low 50s as a result of the gusts. In Utah, temperatures range from 48 in Logan to 73 in St. George, but we got temperatures right in between that are in the 50s, maybe close to 60 degrees in the southwestern part of the state. But anywhere right between Salt Lake City and Vernal, there feels like temperature could be as much as 40 degrees. Nevada has temperatures that are in the 50s to mid 60s, but in the southern part of the state, they're in the upper 60s to low 80s. No gusts there. In New Mexico, temperatures, they have a variety of temperatures like 66 in Farmington to 91 in Carlsbad. It's quite warm on the southern side, but on the northern side it's quite mild. But with these winds on the eastern side, or much of New Mexico, just make it 10 degrees lower for the feels like temperature. In Arizona, on the northern side, temperatures are in the mid 60s to upper 70s. In the southern side, they're in the 80s to low 90s. Alpine could feel like as though it's 60 degrees. California, you get temperatures along the coast. You get 59 in Eureka. In the San Francisco Bay Area, they have temperatures that are in the 70s. 82 in LA, 75 in San Diego, 89 in Indio. Throughout the Central Valley, California, temperatures are in the 70s to low 80s. in the Pacific Northwest. Oregon has temperatures that are in the 50s to low 60s. In Washington State, temperatures are range from 44 in Trail to 61 in Walla Walla, but throughout much of Washington State, they're in the 50s. Quite a lot of gusts, folks. You have a lot of strong gusts in eastern Colorado. Oh, yeah. It's not just high wind warnings, but it's also the red flag warnings that are in eastern Colorado, as I mentioned about a couple minutes ago, earlier in the stream. Now, where's the humidity? Well, there's a lot of humidity in New England and upstate New York, northern Minnesota, and just a little bit in the Pacific Northwest on the coastal side, and in South Florida too. But there's a lot of drought going on in eastern Colorado with some strong winds and low humidity. I already said low humidity, my bad, folks. But regardless, all of this can equate to, wildfires that could happen anywhere just east of Denver. And, of course, we do have a cold front that's dominated throughout the central part of the country. And a cold front that just passed by earlier today, which led to some wet weather throughout the New York City area, but still some wet weather in parts of New England. Now, let's see what we got in terms of rainfall accumulation. In the next 24 hours, there could be as much as up to 4 inches of rain in localized areas in Vermont and the Adirondacks of upstate New York, and about up to an inch or two in much of Maine, and up to an inch or inch and a half in Wisconsin, Michigan, and northern Minnesota. Maybe a little bit close to 2 inches though. In the lower Mississippi Valley, Louisiana, Mississippi, about as much as almost a full inch of rain. Parts of Florida could get as much as about a quarter inch to a tenth of an inch of rain. And any new snow in the next 24 hours, barely, traceable amounts, about no more than an inch of snow just northwest of Rapid City, South Dakota. But if I were you, I'd consult with with your local weather office or your local officials, just so that you guys get real-time measurements of rainfall, especially plus gusts, wind speed, wind direction, and as well as snowfall accumulation. I mean, all of this is just estimates, folks. And now, what do? Well, first things first, I need to go here. That's what we're going to start with. And we're just going to let it play into tomorrow morning, since we're going to be dealing with some rain, and for the most part in places like the Great Lakes region, the Northern Plains, and New England, and maybe some snow in the Northern Rockies, and a little bit of coastal and valley rains and mountain snow in a few places in the Cascades, in the Pacific Northwest and Washington State. We'll leave it there for a few minutes, but right now we got to talk about the upper part of the atmosphere. People are rude. It's almost 6:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Welcome to the stream for those of you just sitting in. This is Marlon here. This is episode 82 of Mushroom City Minecraft. How you guys doing? Hope you guys have better days ahead, or hope that you guys having a good day today. For me, it's just a typical day. Go to work, yada yada yada. Feeling exhausted, but still thrilled about streaming for you guys. Hold on a minute. Never mind, folks. Thought it was something. Let's take a look at the upper part of the atmosphere real quick. We do have a trough. It's going to be over the Dakotas, Minnesota, and another one over New England. Well, that's right now, actually. Yeah, I'm just so tired that I just lose my sense of what